Peace, this is Born Logic. I really just wanted to give a shout out to all the fathers today. I also just wanted to make a vlog. I usually don't sit in front of the camera, I'm usually behind the camera. However, today I just had an inkling of a thought that it might be important for me to say something that's been on my mind. Because a lot of times we take our knowledge for granted and we don't realize that the power of the spoken word, the wisdom that we project and manifest into the universe, can sometimes help a person that's really in need. So I thought about that today. You know, a lot of times, I guess in my older age, I've become somewhat, I don't know, sarcastic, I feel. You know, I'll be thinking, well, I really don't want to share knowledge too much of the teachings online because I know a lot of times it fall into the wrong hands. However, I started really just thinking about that concept. Knowledge can fall into the wrong hands. However, what's worse, it falling into the wrong hands or somebody who might not use it properly, or it falling into no hands and nobody being able to use it. So I just thought today I'm gonna share something, you know, just speaking about fatherhood, since this is Father's Day. You know, this is the Knowledge God Day of Just You Now, and it's just you now. The knowledge of God is what allows us to build. It also gives us the ability to destroy. The knowledge of God gives us the ability to build ourselves up. It gives us the foundation for good orderly direction. And my good orderly direction comes from an internal force and source that's within me as a supreme being within the universe. And as I continue to build and add on, as I grow and develop myself as a man, I add on new things to my cipher and I take away things that hinder or stop the growth process. So that's how I'm drawing up today's Supreme Mathematics. Looking at Father, in our Supreme Alphabets, the letter F is Father. Now, a lot of times, I really feel like people be sleep on Supreme Alphabets. We often speak about Supreme Mathematics. We often speak about 120 lessons. However, it's a lot of science within the alphabets itself. So the letter F is Father. That represents myself. You know, I am a man who is responsible for my children. A father is one who starts a family. If you look at the word father, within it you can see two words, fat, her, because the father is the man or the individual who impregnates the earth or impregnates the woman or the mother so that she will bear the seed of soil and have children. They come together as a union, as a divine union. The true Trinity is man, woman, and child, and that can never truly be broken if we are to sustain ourselves as a people. The first law of nature is self-preservation. So in order for us to continue to survive as a species, we have to reproduce. So reproduction and the bringing forth of another life is so important. We take it for granted because we see life around us all the time. And we see our children and we think about them growing up and we think about what we go through with them. However, it's not many times that, and I'll just speak for myself, that I sit back and I really think about the time and the science and the meticulous nature of what we do and how much is needed for a life to truly be brought into existence. And that all starts with God. That starts with the man. He is the foundation of the family. He can't do it alone. Never that. However, he is the initiator. That's why the knowledge of God is so important when you're talking about today being Father's Day, because the foundation is God. Allah is the foundation. We have to be the ones. We have to be the one to spark that cipher, to get that motion moving. The egg, when it's within the womb of the mother, is activated when the sperm cell hits it. So that motioning body comes from the sperm cell. So we are the initiators, and it's a high responsibility when you are the initiator. So I take my responsibility as a father very seriously. I enjoy being a father. I love having children. I enjoy spending time with my children. I'm blessed enough to have a son and daughters. So I get an opportunity to see that male-female dynamic. I learn from my daughters. I learn things from my son. And it helps me grow as a man and as an individual. Because when I see the life that has come into existence through me, in front of me, it helps me understand my responsibility because it's about me. However, ultimately, it's about my future, which is the children. So as a father, I take that responsibility of teaching and training and loving and being responsible and nurturing to my children very serious. And it's a fun thing. I enjoy it. I didn't have children. My first son was born when I was 29 years old. So one of the reasons I hesitated to have children is because I felt like it'll slow me down. I was in a hustle mentality, so many different things I wanted to do, so many different things I wanted to accomplish, and I felt like having a family would slow me down. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And what I realize now is that it's my greatest motivating factor. Things that I do now, a lot of times I do it not just for my children, however, to provide an example. The accomplishments that I strive to achieve now, some things I wouldn't even do if I didn't have kids. Some things I wouldn't even push myself to accomplish if I didn't have those little eyes looking up to me and looking to me as guidance and good orderly direction. So I must continue to strive to gain certain goals and get and achieve certain things just so I know that their future is solidified. Because a lot of things for myself I've accomplished. However, there's so much more that I need to do to make a better world for the people that I've brought into this world. So it's not just about my children, it's about the world, and it's about the children, because ultimately each one must teach one according to his or her own ability. And the thing about it is that if you have people that are uncivilized amongst your children, we know that one or two things happen when the 5% is amongst the 85%. Either the 5% become more like the 85%, or the 85% become more like the 5%. So it's our duty to not only teach our children, but other children, because we must make the world a better place for them. We got to smooth the path. I think about the fact that, my first few years at Show Improve, when I was first getting knowledge, I was so excited to be in Now Why, so happy to be in Mecca, so happy to travel through Medina. And I was ready. I came through. I know my lessons. I knowledge 120. I know my history. I got my universal flag. Let's go, Bill. I got a chance to meet some of the guys who I always heard about. And it was crazy because the only thing they asked me when I really met some of the older guys that were really dear to my family tree, they kept asking me, who you teaching? How many children you got? That's all they cared about. And I used to be like, damn, because at the time I didn't have no children. And I'm not going to name drop, but two of the older guys that I really have a lot of respect for and had a lot of respect for, they was grilling me like, what do you mean you ain't got no kids? How you God and you ain't got no family? How you the father of civilization and you have not fathered civilization? And they was really getting on me, and I was like, damn, why they tripping on that? However, I realize now, even with these teachings, it's not just about how well you can quote. It's about how do you exemplify the life, the culture. How do you really live this out? We have to reproduce. The Father said the only way you see God is through reproducing. That's mentally and physically. So not only do you, and that's basically what they was asking me, what have you fathered? Because we look at father, a lot of times we just look at the noun sense of the word. I am a father. However, what do you father? What do you bring into existence? Because it's an action that's involved with being a father or fathering something. It's motion that's necessary. It's wisdom that has to be manifested in order for something to truly be born. So they were basically asking me, who are you fathering? Either you need to be doing it physically or mentally. And basically what they was really telling me is both. You need to be teaching somebody and you need to be having children. You have to be able to reproduce. When you stop reproducing, you get old. When you get old, you die. So therefore, if you stop or if you get to an age where you're not producing physically anymore, you still need to be producing mentally. So you need to father ciphers. You need to bring ciphers into existence. You need to start something, be that initiator, like I said. So that's what I've learned through my years. And I just wanted to share that. I don't often get on here and build about the teachings or things that's been passed down to me. However, today I thought, well, what if I did? Maybe it may hit someone that might have needed to hear it. Because at the time when the guys was grilling me about not having kids, I needed to hear that. And one of the reasons I see now is because I'm a great father. It's something I truly enjoy. I was missing out for years. So I just want to say to the men that's out there, to the younger men that don't have children, don't rush into it. You come in your own good time. However, understand that you don't truly understand what it is to be God until you have children. And that's a fact. That's not an opinion. Until you father civilization, until you truly father civilization in both accords, mentally and physically, until you take somebody from knowledge to Pluto and teaching, you don't fully understand the lessons. You don't fully understand the culture to a certain degree. Until you bring another life, until you initiate that life, that borning process, when you start that and someone is actually brought into your existence, that's a walking, talking human being that's right before you that you can stare in their eyes. Until you do that, it's just certain things you don't understand. So it's not to like rag on anybody or dog nobody out or to talk bad. It's just to motivate you because that's something you need to go through in order to understand. If you truly are striving to live this culture to its fullest capacity, if you really want to be I self Lord and master of all the worlds, you have to go through all the worlds. And that don't necessarily mean that you have to experience every single solitary thing that there is to experience. However, everything that's your birthright, that's meant to be, that's yours, you should experience. And if you really want to be the father of civilization, we often quote that knowledge degree. However, we have to live it. You can't just have people that you've taught. You can't just have children and nobody that you've taught. They go hand in hand. That's truly being the father of civilization. And I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to do both. So I'm proud of that. And like I said, I'm proud to be a father. So I just wanted to add on today because I think that it's important. I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all the men who are able to spend time with their children, and even the men who may not have the opportunity to see their children every day or spend time with their children. Don't look at that as an opportunity lost. Don't look at that as a point of shame. Because as our children get older, if you're really striving and making an effort to see your children, spend time with your children, if you love your children, even if you don't see them, there's a possibility for that relationship to be mended. Trust me on that. I'll give you another anecdote or a little story. You know, I had spent time around the guy, C. Latif, older guy from the head of Medina. And we would spend time and talk and build all the time. And the guy would tell me that he had physical children. I had never met them at the time. So I was thinking, damn, he was telling me how he really wasn't in his children's life. And I was thinking, damn, but he's so cool. Like, I love hanging out with him. He's old enough to be my physical dad. However, he treated me like a younger brother more so. He was just so cool, so laid back. He gave me so much knowledge, so much understanding he shared with me. And I thought to myself, damn, his children don't even know how cool he is. And then it made me think about my old dad. And I was like, damn, I don't really know. I don't really have a relationship with my physical father. What if he this cool, just like C. Latif, and I never even spent time with him? And it started bearing on my mind. I started thinking, damn, am I missing out on something? When I started to know that the father and the son are one and the same, I'm thinking, damn, am I missing an aspect of my own reality by not knowing my dad, my physical dad? So I reached out to him. And the very first time I seen him as an adult, the guys was with me. He was living in New Jersey at the time. And after we left Show and Prove, it was me, myself, my youngest brother, or not my youngest, but my younger brother, Lakeem, Universal Knowledge, Self-Wise, and C. Latif, and we all spent time with him at his house, and it was cool. So it was my first time really as an adult, him knowing me as a brother with knowledge of self, or as a man with knowledge of self, and it was different, and he accepted me, and he had to because I showed and proved that I was a better person because of it. So it was just interesting because I've met so many older guys who didn't necessarily get an opportunity to spend time with their physical children. And that's a price that some of them paid in order to be out here teaching this knowledge. So what I'm saying to you, if you don't have direct contact with your children right now, don't think that all is lost. There's a possibility that they will come back to you and seek you out. And you continue to keep that door open and continue to seek them out. If the mother is standing in the way, don't let that be an obstacle. Just continue to strive. And even if not under her watch, once they leave her nest or leave her control or her household, if you're sincere, they may come and seek you out. So never think that all is lost. So to all the men, peace. Happy Father's Day. I just want to give a shout out to you all. Be in the best state of mind. Be in a positive mind state. Understand your responsibility. Because as that initiator, like I said, the one who starts something, that means that you are the most responsible for maintaining it. Because it's not about just starting something, it's about the maintenance of a cipher once it is born. And that's really where the fathering, the actions come into play. So just wanted to add on with that. I hope that anyone that's doing the knowledge to this was able to gain value from it. I leave you as I came in universal peace. My name is Born Logic Allah. Peace.